What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Dylan and this is how I pack for a week in my carry-on. So I've attempted to film this twice already, so we'll be able to use a lot of B-roll, but since we'll be doing a voiceover, I'm finally back in Toronto and we are using the Blue Yeti microphone for the first time. Definitely comment down below what you think about the audio from the Blue Yeti, and nonetheless, let's get right into it. The suitcase that we're using is the Away Luggage Carry-On. The size that we chose was the international carry-on size so that we would be sure that it would fit in majority of the plane's overhead compartments. So as for the aesthetics of the luggage, it's really nice. It's super slim, it's got a sleek look to it, and the coloring is like a nice little matte navy to it. But what I would like to let you guys know about the coloring of the luggage is that it does tend to scratch pretty easily. And from that, I actually got a couple scuffs on it, but the nice thing is it's hard shelled, so it doesn't really mess up what's inside of it. And the zipper seems to have held up quite well. I guess for features, it has those 4 wheels that roll in any direction you want. You have 2 handles, one at the top and one on the side. The top handle actually has a name tag attached to it, so just fill out your name in case it gets lost, your @ sign. The luggage also has that standard arm thing where you can just pull it out, it extends. And right underneath that, in the carry-on version, you actually have a power bank. Now, this power bank is pretty awesome. It's 10,000 milliamp hours, meaning that it can charge your phone maybe like 2.5 or 3 times over, which is really good, especially when you're waiting for your airplane, waiting for your connecting flight. It's nice to be able to just plug your phone in without having to pull up a cube, look for an outlet. You can just plug it directly to your carry-on, which is super nice to have. On the power bank, you have 2 USB-A ports as well as a micro USB port to charge the battery. It's removable, which is super key because some airport security don't allow it to be in your bag if it's not removable. So Away has thought of that and they've actually made the power bank removable. So before we head into the bag, if we take a look at the zippers, they're actually very well made. I was a little bit worried about it at first because I felt like the whole luggage is dependent on these zippers, and if they break, everything will fall out. Not to say that that still isn't the case, but these zippers are very well made that I'm not worried about my luggage breaking like that. The way that the luggage is locked is that it has a TSA lock, meaning that you can have a 3-number combination lock, and it has that little hole that if the TSA want to get into it, they can unlock it without having to break your locks, because they do that sometimes. Nonetheless, we'll finally get into the bag and how I pack for a week within a carry-on. So the nice thing about the Away luggage is that it has 2 compartments. The top part, which is the one that doesn't have the handlebar in it, has a zipper which allows you to keep things in a separate compartment. And then on the bottom, which the main one where the handlebar is, it has a divot where the power bank is, which is a little annoying to pack around. But I've come up with a system that actually accounts for that divot and allows me to organize my clothing as needed. So starting off with the less complex side, which is the top part of the carry-on, what I like to do is, because it is in a contained area and it's not likely to fall out, this is where I put things that I don't use as often but will still need for the trip. So those things that I usually put in the top compartment are usually a change of shoes, whether it be dress shoes or nicer looking shoes that I like. I put in flip-flops, belts, and other things that are not used as often. Either it's sweatpants, dress pants, jeans, swimming trunks, random shorts. I'll toss them at the top part, or I'll just leave it empty for things that we will potentially bring home from the trip that we're going to. Now, as for the bottom, this is where the sorting and organizing and folding come into place. If you take a quick glance at what I have, you can tell it's really inspired or influenced by Marie Kondo, which was the author of The Magical Art of Tidying Up. It's a definite must read. Like, I definitely recommend reading that book because it has helped organize multiple people's lives that I know that have read it, and I really enjoy using those thought processes within my room as well as when I pack. So the first thing I usually do is get all of the essentials out of the way. So for me, those are underwear, socks, and t-shirts. I like to pack 1 for each day that I'm staying, and then I like to add an additional 2 or 3 because If I get really sweaty, I like to take a shower and feel completely fresh. So it's always nice to have an extra couple sets so that you can change into those after you work out, shower, swim, whatever you do. So if we take a look at how we fold them, I like to fold everything into small cubes that stack on their side. And this is taken from Marie Kondo, but I've changed it a little bit because I understand that I am not the most organized person, and more often than not, the things that I fold will end up not being perfect because I actually hate folding clothes. So the way that I fold my underwear is I tuck them into themselves. Marie Kondo actually just likes you to stand your stuff up, but with me, I feel like I kind of just throw things around and things don't stay in the same places that they need to. So by tucking your underwear directly within themselves, if they get unorganized, it's easy to put them back where they're supposed to be. I do the same thing for my socks, even though Marie Kondo says not to do this because you want to put your clothes to rest. Next up is the t-shirts. I usually like to fold them into squares, but because I'm packing on in this carry-on, it's actually cut down the size of the way that I used to fold t-shirts. So this way I actually have to fold them. I have to give them an extra fold so that they fit within the height of the bottom half of the carry-on. So now that we have all of these essentials out of the way, which is underwear, socks, and t-shirts, then I put in the things that I will use to wear on a regularly daily basis, which is either jeans, shorts, and whatnot. And the shorts actually follow the same folding process that I have for the underwear. I tuck them with them themselves so that they stay organized with it when I put them inside of my carry-on. They stay organized while I'm taking clothes out of it, and that is super key if the place that you're staying is super dirty and you don't want bugs crawling into them and going into your clothes. So if you just prop it up on a chair, everything that you need is accessible without having to unpack everything, which I find happens when I stack all my clothes on top of each other. So by stacking my clothes on the side, it makes it easy to pull them out without messing up the entire organization of my suitcase. So following with that logic, by folding my jeans and putting them sideways, along with my shorts and putting them standing up sideways, it makes it easy to take these clothes out without messing up the entire organization. So I put in those jeans, sweatpants, dress pants, shorts, swimming trunks, and I put them all down at the bottom part of the luggage because these are larger pieces of clothing and they act as support when you have your luggage right side up. I also toss in a couple sweaters in there if I'm going to a colder climate, but for the past 2 trips, which have been Taiwan and LA, they've been hot climates, which just means that I need to have t-shirts and shorts. And what else is there? What's really cool about Away is they actually give you an additional mesh compartment where you can use for other things. I'm not sure what the original intent for this mesh compartment is, but for me, I have noticed it's been super useful to put my dress shirts in there. And the benefit of this mesh compartment that I like is that it's a larger form factor, meaning that you don't have to fold your dress shirt as much, meaning less ironing when you are at the place of travel. So inside of this mesh compartment, I like to put in 2 or 3 dress shirts depending on how many I'll need for that trip. And what's actually really cool is Away gives you another bag that's in there. And inside that bag is a international USB charger. That way you can charge your power bank whenever it dies, or you can charge other devices that require a USB outlet. Last but not least, a really cool feature that Away thought of is that at the bottom of the bag, there's actually this zipper compartment. And I'm not sure what the bag is actually intent for, but for me, it is where I put all of my dirty clothes. So as the trip progresses, I end up just throwing everything inside of that bag, and I found it doesn't leak odors. Being able to separate my clean clothes from my dirty clothes with that plastic bag, it has been super helpful during my trips, and the smells haven't transferred through that bag, which is something that I really like. But yeah, that's pretty much how I pack everything inside of my carry-on. Now, if you're wondering where my toiletries are, I actually pack that inside my backpack. So if you want to see how I pack my personal item, definitely check out my video up in the links below. Comment down below where you're headed to next and if this video helped you out. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.